Hello, you guys. Happy Friday. Another White Coat Wellness car edition, because today I am going into the dermatologist for my annual skin check. You're going to see me at a lot of these types of appointments because I think preventive medicine is so important. So that's why I recommend people I don't know what this is in my hair here, but I recommend people going to the dentist. I see my nurse practitioner, who's my functional med nurse practitioner, going to the trusty gynecologist. Even though you hate those appointments, it is really, really important. Same with getting your mammograms and things like that. Super, super, super important. That's not what this call is about today, or this video is about today. But as I do my annual skin check, I just thought it was important to give you my little bit of information there. So anyhow, today we're going to talk all about metabolism. It seems to be a hot topic and a lot of people don't understand it very well. So we're going to kind of break that down a little bit. So first of all, I want you to think of food as energy, okay? Because food has calories, and calories are actually just energy. It is fuel for our body to utilize. So you think of it as like putting gasoline in your car for your fuel, right? The food we eat is going to fuel our body. And so when you think of it that way, this is kind of crazy here, but you start to think of the foods you're consuming a little bit different, right? Like you might start thinking about consuming more lean proteins, some people want to start veering more towards like organic foods. Some people want to start focusing on whole food nutrition, so getting complex carbs from like things like sweet potatoes, and getting in their leafy greens, and getting in fruits and vegetables and all of the things to fuel your body to function to the best of its ability, right? So food equals fuel. Now, your metabolism, what your metabolism is the amount of energy that your body burns and utilizes doing its day-to-day thing. So we have a thing called a basal metabolic rate, our BMR. Basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories your body burns doing its things that equal life, right? So like you breathing, your heart pumping, blood flowing through your vessels, your lungs filling up with air, resting and digesting in our gut. All of these things equal our basal metabolic rate, which there's a huge calculation to figure this out. So it depends on so many factors: your weight, your height, your age, your level of activity, things like that. So that's what we use to calculate basal metabolic rate, your BMR. How much energy your body's burning to live, to sustain life, right? Then we have something called total daily energy expenditure. So you take that BMR and you add on your level of activity. So that's how much walking you're doing through the day, what your workouts look like, so on and so forth, because you're going to obviously burn more calories doing that. So we're going to elevate the amount of energy being burned, and so that's going to be your total daily energy expenditure. There are some things that impact that rate though, so we try our best to put it in a calculator and figure those numbers out. But you know, if you have things like polycystic ovarian syndrome like I do, or hypothyroidism, especially like Hashimoto's, autoimmune, your age, like some of those things are going to lower that metabolism. But some of the other ways that you actually lower your metabolism without even intending to are through diets, you guys. And so I want to break this down so that you can better understand why fad diets, if you've ever done them, why they're terrible for you. So let's say your basal metabolic rate is 1600. You add on your level of activity and it puts you at 2000, okay? So 2,000 calories a day is what you're burning, and you're trying to burn fat. So what we typically do is we cut calories a little bit, right? Because that's our goal, is you cut that energy a little bit so that your body eats its own fat as energy. That's the goal here. So you cut that down a little bit. Well, what I end up seeing happening is too many people go on like this 1,200 calorie diet, which we said our BMR was at 1,600. So now you're eating 1,200 calories. You guys, you know what happens? You are eating below your body's ability to sustain life and do all the things that it wants to do. Like, think about that for a minute. So you're wondering why you're tired, you're crabby, your hair starts falling out, your nails aren't growing, your skin looks bad. Guys, that's why. Your body's like trying to shunt its energy to other places to figure out like, man, if you're gonna like hold back food from me, then I'm gonna have to figure out how to get this energy somewhere else, or put this energy so that our heart does pump and we get blood flow to the brain, because those things are essential. Hair growth is an essential, right? When I learned that, I was like, man, that makes so much sense, right? But we're not taught that stuff. The other thing that I wanted to bring up is that when you cut your calories, so if you cut your calories for a short time period, yes, your body will tap into its own fat stores. It's called a caloric deficit, and you will be able to lose body fat that way. I focus more on body fat than I do on weight, because I think weight is a terrible measure. But anyhow, if you're in a deficit for too long, and what I'm talking about is if you're in a caloric deficit for over 3 months, then your body's like, I've noticed a decrease in our calories, so instead of eating my own fat, well, guess what? Now I'm going to lower your metabolism a little bit more. So that's why these people who do these fad diets over and over and over and over, their metabolism gets lower and lower and lower and lower, and then you eat like one piece of bread and boom, weight comes on like crazy, because your body is like just stunned. So how can we fix this? Number one, don't do fad diets. Focus on lifestyle change, you guys. Focus on your protein intake, whole food nutrition, moving your body, resistance training. So if you are trying to increase your metabolism naturally, number one, protein. Protein is what is going to put muscle on your frame. The more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism, you guys. It's insane. And so the way that I calculate people's protein numbers typically is you take how much you weigh and you multiply it by 0.8. Now the range could go all the way up to 1.2, but I like to start people off on that lower end. So if you're 130 pounds, take 130 times 0.8, and that's how many grams of protein you should be consuming in a day. I personally try to consume 30 grams of protein for every meal and snack that I'm eating. Every time I'm putting food in my body, no matter what, I'm trying to have a protein source, because also, let's say I do have PCOS, right? And so I am more susceptible to insulin resistance, and then therefore more susceptible to developing diabetes in the future. And I'm just like, nope, not gonna let that happen to me. And so the way that I combat that is by eating protein. So if I'm eating fruit, although it's great for you, so many nutrients, it still does contain natural sugars, right? And it can cause your blood sugars to spike, especially by itself. But if you pair protein with that, well, now it's gonna kind of blunt that glucose spike. It takes longer to process and digest. And so I just always prioritize protein with everything that I eat and try to pair that up so that that spike doesn't happen. And I develop more insulin sensitivity instead of insulin resistance. Another way is moving your body. So resistance training, crazy important, you guys. I love resistance training. At first, I used to think like, oh, I'm gonna look like a man if I lift weights. No, you're gonna look like the lean machine that you want to look like, you guys, and have like the Carrie Underwood legs and just like the arms that you feel confident in your tank top. So focus on resistance training. If you don't know where to start, I can point you into some directions there. But resistance training is key. It does not have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be in a gym. You guys, I work out at the end of my bed in my bedroom or in my living room when my kids are running around like crazy. It does not have to be fancy. You just have to move your body. And then lastly, there are some thermogenics out there that you can use to boost your metabolism. And so my favorite is obviously this Believe product, because the Accelerate, when you pair that Accelerate with the drink, whether it's watermelon berry or coffee, with the power of 3, it just does magical things. But they have thermogenics in there, which means that they naturally boost your metabolic rate. If you take too much initially, you might feel that, like the sweaty feeling, but that's really only if you take too much that you feel that. But it's really something cool. Honestly, you guys, I have been, when I first got diagnosed with PCOS, this was years ago, I was 18 at the time, I did everything you're not supposed to do. I did the fad diets. I did the 1200 calorie diet, and then I over exercised and I just destroyed my metabolism. I did the freaking diet pills. It's so horrible to admit. I've learned my lesson, obviously. Here we are, like almost 20 years later. But those types of diet pills and those thermogenics that exist on the market are not safe for you. And this is just a natural way to boost your metabolism, amongst other things. So like, it's not just something that helps with your metabolism and also shuts down that food noise, but again, we're going back to supporting hormones, supporting inflammation, supporting our mood, our energy levels, like all of the things. And that's why this is my most favorite comprehensive duo that I've ever come across, ever. So if you've not done it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for, because you hear me talking about it all the time. Like, it is just incredible the way it makes you feel. But I just wanted to come on and talk to you a lot about metabolism today, and just kind of curious to see what you guys are interested in hearing about. Again, if you're watching this replay, then just comment replay so I know that you're watching it. If you want more videos, give me some ideas of what you'd like to see. If you're on the Believe products, I see a lot of familiar faces here. Some people have asked me some questions about them, so let me know what questions you have. I would love to hear feedback on how you're feeling, what you're thinking, so on and so forth. Let me know, and have a happy Friday.